Hello. Today we're talking about IB's film portfolio requirement. If you're not familiar with a portfolio is a collection of your work samples, which help to illustrate what you've done in a school year. In IB, each element in your portfolio will include a 400-word reflection. You are required to have 3 films in your portfolio. 2 of those films can be incomplete films. Experiments, for example, as you're learning. But 1 of those 3 films needs to be a full film. The length of each element in your portfolio has to be about 30 seconds and at most 3 minutes. So we're not talking about big films here. Each film, each of those 3, 30 seconds to 3 minutes long. And because you have to make films, we're going to be devoting about 15 weeks in our year to film production. If you look at our website and you look at our film modules, you'll see that they are contained in units 3, 4, and 5. When you look at those units, you'll notice they have funny names like the script writer or the editor. That's because each time you participate in a film, you have to take on a different film role. The roles we're mainly interested in for this course include the following. The writer. The writer is someone who will write the script from the group's brainstorming sessions, work with the director to storyboard the script so that there's a clear sense of what the camera will be doing, and this writer will be rewriting elements as the production goes along. The producer. The producer is someone who will produce, meaning make things happen. The producer takes a storyboard and pulls together the actors, the costumes, the sets and locations, the gear that's needed, and helps design the production schedule, letting everyone know when y'all are going to meet and who needs to be there and at what time. The director and the cinematographer. Because our production teams are so small, the director will often be our cinematographer. This is the person who will take the script and break it out into a storyboard, communicate with the producer so the producer can see, based on the storyboard, what sets and locations and actors are needed. And then on the day of the shoot, the director is the visionary in charge. She dictates the blocking. She works with the actors on the approach to the scene, and she works with the cinematographer, if you have one, on camera angles, size, and movement. The editor or sound designer. As the early work on the writing wraps up, the editor, who will probably also be your sound designer. The sound designer focuses on the soundtrack and special effects sounds of your production. The editor will be creating your title graphics and end credits, as well as design your original music or coordinate with someone else who will create that. A special note, here in IB, you are not allowed to use royalty-free music. You need to have original music for your productions. On production days, the editor can be on set, acting as the sound designer, helping with the boom mics and making sure the sound is being captured correctly. Later, the editor works with the actors to record voiceovers, sound loops, and any other original special effects sounds, and of course the editor puts the film together. You may notice that's 4 roles. Actually it's 6 because the cinematographer and sound designer can technically break out as separate roles. But let's say it's 4. You only have 3 films, in the year, so you'll need to pick the roles you really want to focus on, because for sure you're not going to have time to focus on them all. Because of our small production team size, you may end up wearing more than one hat in a production. But in your production, IB wants you to only reflect on the role you are prioritizing. Meaning, if you directed and did sound design on a film, only focus on directing or only focus on sound design for the reflection. IB puts a high value on finding inspiration for what you need to do within your film role by referring to 2 sources: research on the career itself and films that have inspired you. Therefore, before you even start on the writing, we will take time to study the film role, as well as bring in clips from films that capture what you're looking to do with sound, camera work, editing technique, or dialogue in your writing. That's not me giving you all those things. That's you actually going out on your own and finding films you love and bringing them to the classroom. Those films and research links will be cited in your reflection. If you're new to filmmaking, there are 3 basic steps: pre-production, production, and post-production. Every group member serving in their roles are part of each step, and when you reflect, IB puts a high priority on collaboration. IB wants to hear in your words how you collaborated with each other in your role through each step of the process. In pre-production, you're writing the script, creating the boards, and pulling all your actors and costumes and locations together. You may even do a script read-through or work on some early camera choreography. In production, you are filming the scenes and scoring the film. This may also include recording voiceovers and any other special effects sounds the sound designer is coming up with. In post-production, you're editing mostly, but you may actually reshoot here if you're finding you want to do something different as a result of the edit. And when you edit, you'll probably have what's called a rough cut of the film, so your team can collaborate and review it and give notes on it. And that will be followed up by the final cut. When you hear all that, I mean, you can probably see how 5 weeks can go pretty darn fast to get the whole thing completed. To help you write your reflection, I've created an easy-to-follow outline and posted it on our website. There's even a series of videos of me going through this whole process, researching a role, finding inspiration in a filmmaker, actually creating my piece of the film, and I did sound design, showing off the actual film, and then writing a reflection on the whole of that process. Those videos are embedded in our first film project, and I suggest you watch them to help you understand more about what you need to actually do as you step through pre-production, production, and post-production in your film role. I'm planning on having you write a reflection right away after the end of each film project. And then I'm going to devote 2 weeks later on in our school year for you to clean up your reflections and submit them to IB. Okay, if you've been watching these in order, that concludes my overviews on all 3 of your required assessments: the textual analysis, the comparative study, and now the portfolio. I hope you find after all these videos that you have a better understanding of what each component is and what work you'll need to do to find success within each of them. I can't say this enough. The most important thing that we have to do in our class is have fun. But part of that is having some peace of mind. And I hope that after you see all the videos I've created to help tee up this class, that you see I have your back, and I've worked really hard to try to organize this class in a way where you'll have the highest chance of success on reaching good scores on all 3 of these assessment components. Thanks very much for watching. Talk to you soon.